Hello and welcome to PowerDrift, guys. It's chilling out here. I'm on a picnic. Datsun's invited me over onto the banks of Ganges, Rishikesh. We are here for the first drive of their new offering in the Indian market. That's their sub 4 meter compact MPV. You heard it right, the Datsun Go Plus. Now that's what the Datsun Go Plus, a sub 4 meter compact MPV, looks like. Now Datsun says it's a smart bike because of course it's a sub 4 meter car, so you're going to enjoy the tax benefits. Now in terms of looks, the front is pretty much the same as that of Datsun Go. Comes in this very unique color too, looks quite delectable if you ask me, and has a rare overhang. It's gotten 39 kilos heavier than the Datsun Go, comes short with Strada 13-inch 155/70 wheels, and that's about it when you talk about the exteriors of the car. Without further ado, then let's look at what the rare third row seat space looks like in the Datsun Go Plus, and for that I shall call upon our very own Ninad to show us that the modus operandi of entering the third row in the Datsun Go Plus is not the same as what you may have seen in the likes of Innova. You have to fold the entire second bench and tumble it, and that's how you can gain access to the third row. And I'm gonna join Ninad in there to show you what the space looks like when a fat and a tall person gets inside onto the third row seat. Of course, not very roomy or spacious for adults, full-size adults like us, which makes me think that this is not really a 7-seater MPV, but more like a station wagon with a big boot, a car with a big boot.
The interiors of the car are the same as that of the Datsun Go. Just a phone holder, an auxiliary connection, no radio, and pretty basic.
Alright, so we are onto the inside of the Datsun Go Plus. I'm driving this 1.2 litre inline 3-cylinder, 67 horses, 104 Newton meters of engine, which quite honestly, if you ask me, I'm falling in love with. It's got oodles of torque down low. Now of course, this engine is the same as the Micra engine, but it has been tuned for this particular vehicle. The suspension on this vehicle is also tuned to take the extra 350-360 liters of weight, additional weight at the back. When you're going through bad roads, which are by the plenty in our country, seems to be gliding over them very, very well. Overall, the driving pleasure or the handling characteristics of this car are managing to impress me quite a lot. The steering can be said to be one of the best in its segment. This one has a whole lot of feedback coming in and quite precise too. The engine's mated to a 5-speed manual gearbox. The gear lever here is mounted onto the dash, it's not on the floor, and the gear throws are pretty short. The clutch action is pretty good too. Now the drivability of this car, like I mentioned earlier, is really, really good. It doesn't matter what gear you are in, you have enough torque spread across to get you going. And to highlight this, I'm going to do a small little experiment. I come to a standstill, slot the car in third gear, not first gear, and I try to take off. And the car manages to do that without getting the engine stalled, which is quite commendable. The car gets a top speed of 140 kmph, and here's another little something that's gonna help you in your daily city-to-city traffic driving. The car has the shortest turning radius of 4.6 meters. Really, really impressed. You see folks, before I hit my puberty, I was always thinking that fast, big cc, powerful sports cars were the only interesting cars in the world. And then of course in my stint in the automotive industry taught me that I was wrong. And today when I drove the Datsun Go Plus around, I was reminded once again of my erroneous pre-puberty conclusions. This indeed is an interesting, curious and exciting little car. And it doesn't have to be a big cc car, Ninad, but there's just one little gripe in this car.
There's no safety at all. There's no ABS, no airbags, either as an option.
That's the irony, though, Ninad, of our Indian car market. Safety is not really high on the priority list of an Indian buyer, especially in the B or B plus segment. But Ninad, taking things into perspective, this car to me is a lot like this phone. Ultra reliable, no bells and whistles, but goes about doing its daily duties without really attracting a whole lot of attention to itself. Has no creature comforts, but manages to do what it is meant to do without any pretense.
Talking specifically about the safety, can we see at least in future ABS or
airbag at least as an option on this car?
There are few of the safety active features that we have in this car, about either the black spot reduction, or is it about the braking performance, or the headlamp, powerful headlamps, or the spinal seat which will reduce the fatigue. Yes, on the menu what you asked, if there are going to be a lot of customers who are going to come to us for ABS and airbag, we will introduce that. We have the technologies, it's always plug and play, we can always adapt it when there is a real market need.
Will we see a diesel variant of the Go Plus?
If there is a very good case where 20.6 mileage is insufficient and the customer are looking for more saving and they want to go for a migration to either CNG or LPG, we will introduce it at the right time.